Hello everyone and welcome to week one of this course. One of the things that we want to do is make a checklist of the items that we need to install for the first week. The first week I find to be useful because it's just, setting up your environment and so forth. There's a couple things that we need to do is we need to identify things that we need to get started in this course. We need to set up a local and remote environment. If you're taking this course, that means that you've already had the 160 class, the database, you've already had the introduction to programming, potentially advanced programming. So your remote environment is probably set up already. But what we'll do is we'll go through both scenarios. In this case, what we're doing is we're going to walk through how to set up locally and remotely. The benefits for that is if we run it locally, when we're running our PHP and our MySQL database, you could do all your coding, configuration, etc. all local. Allows you to not have to keep uploading your files and make sure it works. It's nice to just do it locally. And then once you're ready to go, you can push it to the remote environment. And also the other benefit is if we've switched around the way to access remote. Previously, we would just use PuTTY if you're using Windows, and if you were using Windows, you could just PuTTY into your environment, and you were in there. Or if you could use File FTPzilla, no big deal. Same thing if you're using a Mac. We use Terminal. We shelled into it. Same thing with FTP, no problems. But they made a change because the school didn't feel that SSH was secure enough, so they wanted us to use a remote device. And that remote is, at this point, everyone's probably familiar with this, but you could go to appliedcomputerscience.org. Oh, that's weird. Okay. You could come here and you could find the same information here. I think it's under tutorials and under gel setup. I'm sorry, jump box. And you could come here and it has this information. It has the link and so forth, which is this link right here. And you would input your username and password for Point Park. Not your gel account, but whatever your username and password is for your email, for example. So I would put this in. I would go into CMPS. What it'll do here is it'll launch the environment, and I'll have a remote desktop, which will be Windows, and this will be where you configure your environment. So if you need to log into the server, you could do it through PuTTY. You need to log into MySQL Workbench or MySQL, you could do it within these two options, and then directly right here in FileZilla. Okay, so you could do it there. So let me actually log off of here because I'm not looking to do anything here. So I'm going to disconnect and I am going to sign out right now. So those instructions have not been, I don't think they've been moved over here yet. So what you could do for the time being, you go to it.pointpark.edu tutorials. I'm not going to walk through this part. I'm going to let you kind of figure it out on your own. Well, actually I do have a video on this. But you could come out the PHP and you can, there's a setup here, sorry. This right here is your PHP FPN. So you could walk through part of this to set things up. But if you go to, I have a video. Let me see if I remember where it's at. This is part of it. So you could walk through this and make sure you have Nginx installed, walk through all these steps to get you set up. I have a config file. If you watch my video, it will walk you through it. I think the video itself, I would say, is a lot easier than following this. But let me find it. Let me pause this for a second. All right. So if you come to this link right here, Nginx, PHP, MySQL, ODBC, etc. If you click on this, there's two videos. Well, here's how to do it. But if you watch video 1, which I think is like 37 minutes, and video 2, I walk you through the entire setup. If you follow that video for remote, if you don't have this set up, but I think at this point you should have it set up. But let's say hypothetically you don't, or if it's not working, follow these 2 videos and this will get you set up. If you have problems, set up an appointment with me, but I recommend that you at least try to attempt to do it before you set up an appointment. So this is the remote, and this is ultimately what we want, but like I said, the remote box has been having some issues, so we want to have that local environment set up so that we run it locally anyways. So questions, you know how to reach me. So we're going to move on so remote setup. I say that we're good here. Follow videos and you'll be good, and documentation. So I feel good with that. The other thing is go to GitHub. Make sure that you have a GitHub account set up. Once again, I think at this point we should all have a GitHub account. If you don't, make sure you have one set up. Also, make sure you set up as an SSH key using secured. And if you're unsure how to do this, I always tell people go here, come down to videos, and if you come out to my playlist, I have a ton of different videos and I pretty much covered everything. I have one on source code here somewhere. Yeah, source code repository. So there's 16 different links out there. I'm pretty much sure that you'll find something out there. If you run into an issue, reach out to me. So that is your GitHub account. So you need that. So we're good there. Other thing is making sure you have MySQL Workbench installed. I think, once again, I think we should be fine there. I think everyone pretty much did this before, but just in case, I'll show you something. Oh, that's the wrong one. So go to MySQL Workbench. There we go. And there you go. Thing about this, if you go to download it, I wouldn't recommend downloading the one that they have available. You want to get the older version because we, on the server at Point Park, we have a setting that's not enabled, so you will not be able to do everything that you need to do. You will not be able to connect to it. Even though I'm telling you this, I'm sure it will happen. Someone will run into this issue. So let's see, customer download, find the link. Nope, that's not what I want. Let's do this. I had a link somewhere. MySQL Workbench archive versions. That's what we want. Yep, archive versions. So I'll make sure that this link is in week 1 syllabus, or week 1. So you want to, don't choose the most recent one, go to 0.26. And if you're using Mac or PC, choose that and then download it. So if it's a PC, Windows, it'll be an executable or installer. So make sure you choose the 0.26. If you choose the 0.29, what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to connect because it's going to, our SSL is not set up on that server yet. We will be upgrading that, but until we get everything straightened up. So that would be my recommendation. At this point, once again, I think you probably already have this in place and this should be good. The other thing is I would recommend having Visual Studio Code. That's what we're using. And actually it's pretty common that the industry is using that as well. So we'll say Visual Studio Code. If you're not sure what it is, you come out here and you have Visual Studio Code. It's a lightweight application, but it's very powerful, and we'll use it in all of our lab videos. So go in here, download this, you'll need it. So I feel that we're good there. All right, so we talked about remote setup. There's a video covering that. There's the GitHub account. I feel good there. MySQL Workbench, Visual Studio Code. FTP won't be needed for local, and it's already on the box on remote, so you should be good. what else? What else? Okay. So I would say remote environment. We'll say remote setup. That's good. So now we need to talk about our local setup. How does that work? Well, so it's going to be different. So what I'm going to do is try to walk through the Mac one first and then walk through the Windows as they're different. Now, before I get to that, what I am going to do is show you how to set it up yourself versus using a product. There is a product. I'm not going to do videos on it. I'm not going to support it. If you have problems or questions, that'll be up to you. But if you want, there is a program called Examp. And like I said, if that's what you want to do, you could do this. I've used this before. It does work. But the reason I'm showing you the old school way, because I feel that you'll learn how to set it up on your own versus using a product that's in place that does it for you. Now, like I said, it's completely up to you. If you want to take that route, I have no problem. I support you on that, but as far as providing support, if you run into a problem, I can't help because it's not something I recommend. But that's up to you. You can read the instructions and go through it. It has PHP and MySQL installed on it. Not a problem. So just throwing that out there. So if you're using a Mac computer, Apache, here's what we need. So we need to have in this case, to run what we're going to be doing in this course, we're going to need to have Apache, which is a web service host platform, and we're going to need to have MySQL installed. Now, we talk about MySQL Workbench, so this is the actual database. Now, if I go to, I'm on the Mac, if I go to System Preferences, and I go to right down here where it says MySQL, because I have it installed, you see where it's up and running. I can stop my service and all that stuff. So that is up and running. That is what you want to have. So you want to download MySQL. So not the archive one. This is the Workbench. So you want to download MySQL installer, I think. Nope, that's what you want. You want, I'll double check her. Download MySQL server. Community server, yep. So you could come out here and choose, if you're using Mac, Windows, whatever case is, you can choose the latest and greatest based off of what version Mac or Windows that you're using, and that would install the service itself. Now, if you run into problems here, let me know. You'll need that in order to run. So it's important that you, let's see, I might have another link just to double check. Give me a second here. I might have provided a link in my last time I did this class. And this class is actually revamped. So this is a different course than it was previously. So it was due to be changed a little bit. That's not it. Requirements to download MySQL. Download MySQL product. Okay, that's not it. That's what he's talking about. No, this is it. This is fine. So that is what you need to run locally. So Apache for Mac is already installed. You don't have to do it. For Windows, we'll walk through that video shortly. So Apache is already installed. MySQL you'll have to install. So like for example, I go to, I'm gonna pull up MySQL right now. So this is the Workbench here, and I have a local connection which connects locally to my environment. It's trying to connect to stuff. So I have a local connection here that I could use that sets up so I could connect to it, which is good. The other thing is Apache, like I said, is local. So like, for example, it uses a local host address. So if I go to localhost right now, okay, I must have the service on, so it's running. So let's turn it off. Give me a second here. All right, so hypothetically this shouldn't work when I refresh it. All right, so it blew up. That's because I have it off. So I want to walk you through how that works. So we're going to go into terminal, and it'd be nice if I have a shut screen here. All right, so let me pull this over here, and I'm going to zoom in here. Hopefully it's big enough. So first thing that you do if you're using a Mac is do a PWD, which stands for Present Working Directory. Hit enter and see where you're at. So typically you'll be a user, whatever your username is. What we want to do is be in a directory below user. So you'll do a cd space // and now if we do this, we should be in a different directory, and we're in a directory that we want to be in. So if you see applications, library, etc., we're in the right one. So what we want to do is go into etc., and that is where we hypothetically want to be at. We want to be in this directory here. Not hypothetically, this is definitely where we want to be at. So we want to be here, and then we want to be in a folder called Apache. Now let me see if I can find it here. If I do a clear this, do an LSL, it should do things in alphabetical order, hypothetically speaking. Let's find it. There it is, Apache 2. So I'll CD into Apache 2, and I'll clear my screen and do an LS. And then you have these things already in place. These are in place. This is automatically there. We don't have to do anything. Now, as I mentioned, the service right now, and I'm going to move it over here so we can see it and show you how this works. So right now, before we do anything, because we have to configure some stuff to get PHP up and running, and we'll talk about that in a second here. So first thing is to make sure that the Apache works. It automatically has this stuff in place, which I should show you where it's located at. So let me actually, before I even start and stop, let's start a new terminal. So we have another terminal going here. Oops. And we'll put it below it if we can. All right, perfect. I think that directory is a little bit different, so we're going to do kind of the same. And I think it's in the library. I'm going to clear it. And there should be something called web server. You see at the bottom right there. We want to CD into that. Clear it. And all right, so you see 3 different folders. We want to be in documents. And now you see stuff. You'll see index.html.en. So if we do a vi index.html.en, it'll bring up this screen right here. It says HTML, it works. We'll talk about that in a second here. So I'm gonna hit escape. I'm gonna hit colon. I'm gonna hit Q and exclamation mark. That quits it. So you see what that says. Now, in order for me to start this service here, what I need to do is type in sudo space Apache CTL start and hit enter. It's gonna ask me for my password, and this is the password of your computer. There you go. So now we refresh and it works. Now I'm going to change what that says there. So if I hit the up arrow key, come in here, I'm going to type I on my keyboard. It allows me to insert, and I'm going to say welcome to CMPS 3. Is it 361? I don't know where I got 61 at. You'd figure I remember what these are by now. But yeah, 361. Welcome to 361. All right, so I'm gonna hit escape, :WQ for saving, exclamation mark. Oh, it's not gonna let me save it. Can't open file while writing. I am writing. Let's see if it lets me do that. Oh, okay, so it's not gonna let me do it. All right, so I'm gonna do it a different way. For some reason, it might be the. Let me look at the. Okay, it's based off the permissions. All right, so that's fine. So we're gonna do a different option here. Give me a second here. We could pull it up. So we also have it over here in Visual Studios. I think this is the right one. So we'll say, welcome to CMPS361. I should be able to save it here. Okay, look at it. We're trying sudo. So that's what the problem was. Okay. I'll save this. Excuse me. It looked like it saved when I did that. So let's see if it's out there, and I'll show you how we can change it moving forward from the server. So let's all right, so it did do that. So let me try something. I'm gonna put an exclamation mark out there. Oh, you know what? Here's what I have to do. So you know how like I did sudo, I have to do sudo vi index.html.em, which means that I'm asking myself is the root user, and that's probably why. So now if I do an insert and put an exclamation mark after it, it should accept it this way. Escape, :WQ, there we go. Yeah, so that worked. So you could do it directly through Visual Studios like we did before, or you could do it directly through here in Unix as well. I did a lot of Unix back in the day, and so I got familiar with doing this, and it was just like quick changes. So let's see if we refresh it. There you go. Welcome to 361. It works fine. So the service is up and running. We didn't have to stop the server. It starts. So this is a good way to really make changes, and it's nice when it's locally, because then you don't have to worry about uploading your files. You can see if your stuff's working. So if I close this, if I came into this file right here, and maybe I wanted to create something else, so I have HTML. So what I'm actually going to do is, well, I could change it, but we'll just leave it like this. Let's say I have a heading down here, but let's say that we have a paragraph and we want to add something. This is my first web programming class. Something like that. And I'm going to save it. Now if we'll try sudo, let's do it that way. And yeah, sure. Now if I come over here and refresh it, boom, it's down there. So you see my changes are reflecting automatically, and that's beautiful. That's what we want, and that's why I think the local environment is the way to go, because it ensures that you're able to write your program, check and make sure it works. Especially, I mean, this is .html, but once we actually start writing PHP code, then it'll be a little bit different. So, you know, if we wanted to run, like for example, this is some PHP code here. So if we want to just, well, actually, this is already out there, I think. So yeah, it's under, okay. So if we do this and run this home.php, you see how it picks it up. All it's doing here is running this PHP script. Then we'll talk about what this is later. This is just week one. So you see it's able to execute it, where if we didn't have PHP installed, we wouldn't be able to do that. All right, so I talked too much about that right now. So I want to talk about the next steps, is actually setting up the PHP to work, because right now, if you've set this part up, it's hypothetically not going to work yet, because you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle in place. Okay, so let's go to LS. So now what we want to do here is, let me clear my screen and go to LS again. So if you're setting up your PHP for the first time, you want to make sure you copy your backup. So you want to do a CP. I'm not going to run this command because I already did it. So you want to do conference.httpd.conference.sierra. Now, if you notice, did I just type it twice? Copy CNF. Okay. CNF, which is copy CNF, and then you would do space to here .com.sierra. Now I already have this. You want to make a copy just to be sure, because if you see, here's your original copy and here's your backup copy. So you want to make sure you make a copy because you're going to edit this file here. That way, if you mess up, you have the original copy. Okay. Now you can easily go and copy and paste if you want to do it manually. Not a big deal. So the next step that you want to do is you want to do a sudo into httpd.conference. Now mine will be done. Enter a password in. Oh, okay. Did I enter it wrong? Sudo. Oh, I'm a doofus. So I need to put a VI in here for view, or I won't know what to do with it. There we go. So now it might look like mumbo jumbo, and that's fine, not a big deal. So we want to uncomment the next line, remove the question mark. So there should be a thing that says load modules for PHP. So we should be using 7, and it should be, and I'll show you here. Mine should be unchecked. It's actually, I should say PHP, so it should be down here a little bit further. Hopefully I'm not giving you a headache by running this matrix, it looks like. It's down here somewhere. Oh, I must have passed it up. All right, right here. So normally, typically there was a pound in front of that, and I'll show you the original version what it looks like. But you want to uncomment, like comment this, so you just want to take the pound off there and save it. So you would do escape, and you would do this, but we don't have to because I have it saved. I'm just going to quit it. But if I went into the original one, which let's say I did Sierra, that one should have the original pound in there. Just double check. We know it's at the bottom here somewhere. Jeez. So you notice like everything is pretty much commented out. Yeah, so you see how it's commented out because I made that backup. So this is the original backup I made. So all you're doing there is doing that part. You're uncommenting that. Okay, so that's the first thing you have to do. Then the next thing that you need to do is you need to restart Apache. So let's talk about this. So let's exit out of here. Quit. All right. So you need to, let me clear my screen. So if we wanted to restart Apache, you could type in sudo Apache CTL. I think that's what it is. Yeah. I have to make sure that was one. And you could type in restart like that. And all it does is it reboots the thing. So you wouldn't even know that it happened there. Everything worked. So you want to restart after you make that change. The reason for that is because you made a change to the configuration file. You have to restart the service so that it could take that in effect. Then once you do that, you can verify that PHP is running. You want to make sure that you get it up and running. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to go into this directory down here, which if you look present working directory, you have a folder here called we call it documents, which you'll find that folder. I would use a editor. You could actually do it. You could hard code it if you want. Not hard code it. You could do it through the screen here if you want. But let's say that you wanted to, a couple different things. So I already have this file created. You want to call it phpinfo.php, but I'm just gonna create another one from here. So if I could type in this touch php info, I'll call it 2.php just for the heck of it, and hit enter. All I gotta do is sudo and password. Perfect. So now if I do an ls, I should have that 2 there. I'm gonna do a sudo view php info 2.php. I'm gonna do an I for insert. Now see, I could do this here, or I could do it in Visual Studio. But for what I'm doing, there's not much typing. I'm gonna type PHP. I'm gonna hit enter. Space in, I'm gonna type in PHP info. And then I'm gonna hit enter again, question mark, and this right here. So this is just a PHP script. I'm gonna hit escape. I'm gonna hit :WQ for saving my work. And there we go. So now what we did here is we set up a file just to go and capture some information for us. So now what we can hypothetically do is we could type in that address that we did. We called it php info 2.php, and there we go. Now if you look here, what it does is this tells you that you're running PHP. It shows you you're running 7.3.29. It shows the build date. It provides all this information. So if you get this, that means it's working. You have your PHP installed. So there's a huge build file here. If you don't get this and something didn't work, so you should get that. That's a verification that it's working, that it's installed. And that would be the end of how to do it for Mac. So I'm not gonna end this video because I'm just gonna let it keep going on. So we're at 32 minutes. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. So Windows, I don't have this video software on my Windows computer. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of walk through the instructions, and I'll provide instructions as well. It's gonna be a little bit different because Windows doesn't make things easy for you. So first step that you're gonna do is you're gonna go to this URL that'll be included in your module for the week. Apache Lounge download. Okay, and I'm actually gonna increase the size of this screen for you. All right, so there should be something called Apache 2.5.54 Windows 64. This one right here. You want to download the zip file. Okay, so once you download the zip file, the next step is look at what the heck. Sorry, that's my cat flipping out. 1 second. Come on, babe. Go. Here, go. Leave. Alright. So you'll download this file, and I think I've downloaded this already on here, but let me double check. Download. If not, I'll download it again to show you what it is. Thought I'd download it, but I might have did it on my Windows machine, so let's just download it for the heck of it. Not a big deal. Alright, cool. So we have this folder here, Apache 24, so it pulls all this information up. What you'll want to do is open up Microsoft. Oops. You'll want to open up Microsoft DOS. So you would go to your Windows screen, you type CMD in and do DOS. You know what we could probably do is, let me do it on a remote server. I didn't even think about doing that. That might be a good demo to do it from there. I did not think about that. Usually this thing is running super slow, but it is late and people are sleeping, so let's see if we could do it from here. I don't know what permissions I have on here, so that will be part of it. I wouldn't recommend to run it in here because things are going to be really slow. So I'm going to go Apache lounge.com. Download. All right, so let's download it here. All right, so we have to download this, extract this out somewhere. So extract, sure. I'm gonna rename that because it's too long. Only if I have to go into it. All right, cool. So let's do this here. I'm gonna call this Apache 2. That way I can at least get to it. All right, cool. So we have Apache here. We want to open up DOS, but you want to do it in Windows. You want to do it in, so if I do CMD, you want to do it in admin. And like I said, I don't know if I can run it as admin here. We'll see. All right, so you want to do it that way. Like I did, I typed in CMD, right clicked on it and chose admin. Now what I want to do is go to the C drive and create a folder, called Apache. So let's do this. CD into user / jcmin directory. Commands are a little bit different, so I'm usually stuck in Unix mode. So I'm going to do CD documents. Oh, where's the documents at? That makes sense. Downloads, alright, sure. Alright, so I'm gonna make a directory here called Apache. I'll call it underscore. Let's see here. Go to C drive, create a folder Apache. Then we have Apache 24 bin. Huh. Oh, I think what I did here is, where do I have that original file that I created? Downloads, Apache 2. I think there should be a bin here. That's what we could do. We could just go from there. I don't have to create this again. So let's do CD Apache 2. I don't have to create anything. Yeah. See, I forget commands. All right, there we go. So we'll CD into Apache 24. There's a bin folder. We want to CD into that. All right. So now what we could do is, it won't let me do that. We could type in httpd k install. I knew I wouldn't have permission. Server must be valid directory. I knew I didn't have access to this. Server root must be directory. Let's do this. Let me think. Oh my god, I'm still stuck in that mode. So let's do this. Maybe we could do yeah, I think that was right. Oh my god. Alright. I should be able to do this. That's it. Oh, it already got installed. So that was interesting. We ran that command and it said it didn't work. But now it's saying it did work. Huh. Alright. So let's see if it's out there. So go to there and type in services. And there should be an Apache, and there it is. Double click on it. Let's get and see if it starts. Alright, so there's some type of problem with it. Do not start Apache on a local computer, blah blah blah. We might have to change a setting on it as well. We might have to change that config around. So what we need to do is, where is the HTTP? So we want to find this folder here, this file right here. We need to edit it. Oh, great. How do we open it? Alright, this is great. Well, let me run anyways. That's not good. I want to open it. Alright, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to, let me pull up a text pad. I'm going to open it that way. Because all it is a config file. So we're going to have to open it that way because it's not letting me do it that way. So batch 2, 24, bin, oh, let's do all files. Let's do that, there, oh, jeez. That is very funky. That's not what I want. Alrighty, that is gonna be a problem. So I have an idea. So let me do this. So we know that we downloaded it. Let me see something like that download. Let's see if I can find that file real quick. I have an idea. So it's an executable. So maybe there's a different one. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I know I'm doing wrong. So we want to go to Apache 24 and we want to go to config file. Wrong one. We want to open with, and we choose Notepad. So I guess it's, if you open the right file, helps. Alright, so I thought this was in my mind there. Alright, so next thing that we want to do here is to find the server root location. So where is the server root at? So saying C Apache 24, we have it somewhere else. So we have it in the downloads. I would recommend putting it in your C drive. That would be easier, but I installed it from there, so I'm just gonna leave it here for now. Apache 24. So I am going to copy this. And I am going to put the location path there and paste it. Perfect. Save that. All right. So now let's see if that works. Look at that. Service is up and running. I don't know if we could just get out the local host or not. Yep, there we go. So we got the same thing going here. So now we have the service up and running, and you have to run the same thing for PHP, but PHP is a little bit different. So now okay, so I am going to create a second video on this part because we need to set up we have to download PHP And then on top of downloading it, we need to edit it through system variables. So there's a little bit more, but this will at least get you started. So if you're running Windows, we walked you through how to set up Apache on here. If you're running locally on a Mac, we talked about how to do it on a Mac. We went through and got everything configured with PHP. The last step that we need to do is do a video on showing you how to install PHP. So we have to go out and download PHP, we have to install it locally, and then we have to configure so it works with the Apache server. So that'll be the next video. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.